Okay, so your abdominal aorta is not really bright pink, but there's a little bit of it right here. And there's your inferior vena cava, so I'm sure it's running like it's that really pale pink piece down here. Your first branch here is the celiac. The aorta is coming like here. Your second branch is going to be the superior mesenteric. There's your renal, beautiful renal. The celiac, the part of it that extends in here, the first branch comes off, and I'm having trouble telling exactly where it came off, but I'd say it's broken. But it's going out, you can sort of follow it here in the mesenteries, going out to the spleen is the splenic.
And where does it comes off, like right
comes
here?
Off somewhere in here, yeah. Sometimes some of them come off a little bit closer over to the aorta, some of them a little further out. But if you can see that it's going to the spleen, it's the splenic.
Okay.
And that should be obvious. The branches that are going here to the stomach are the gastrics. And then there should be another branch that goes deep, if it hasn't been torn off, that I think that's embedded in this, I believe, in yours, is going to be the hepatic. It looks like it branched off really quick. I think I'm seeing where it's started to branch here down, but I'm not actually catching it up here because the staining is just not very good on this one, at that particular point. Oh well. Maybe we can try to tear this and maybe we can see it down there, but I think that's actually it right there, just not stained. That's going to be the hepatic. It's going up here to the liver.
So
The
gastric, splenic.
Yep.
And what did we say this was?
Hepatic. It's going up here to the liver.
Okay, so what is this first branch?
First part is the celiac.
Celiac. Okay.
Is it celiac disease?
Mm-hmm.
Same term. If you come out, continue down the aorta, then you're going to get to this nice branch that's going over here that's embedded in all of this, and that's the superior mesenteric. It goes over, runs along the colon. Frankly, I can see it better over here like this. It does do that, and then it runs along the colon. It's the colic there.
So would you pin it there for the colic? Or
If I pin it here, it's colic. If I pin it somewhere in here where it's embedded in the mesenteric, those are generalized mesenteric artery and vein. And if I pin this part, I'm pinning just the loose tissue, I'm pinning the mesenteries. Renal artery and vein. Be deep. There's your ureter. And continued inferior vena cava. So here's the inferior mesenteric coming back in. And the branch down to the rectum is your superior hemorrhoidal. Here again, it's much nicer and prettier and looks more like this in us, where the colon is coming in more neatly. But the colon is so long and twisted here, it's a little harder to follow. Up in here, but I would probably find a better, easier piece to see it, is what I would probably look for. Paired wise, that looks like the artery. Okay. Artery and vein coming off here. That looks like your artery coming off there, this little one, and that may be the vein that just didn't get any dye. Those are going to be the the iliolumbars. They split out here, and some go to the upper part of the pelvis, and some go more towards the back. The lower back, remember, those are your lumbar vertebrae, and it's the lumbar region. For both the arteries and veins, when you get down here, they do major splits. These are going to be your external iliac arteries. And then there's a cute little branch going in here, and another one over here that then get picked up. In mine, I can pick them up much better here the actual branch point is being hidden here by my external iliac veins. But these are your internal iliacs. They basically branch in like this and like this.
Where's your internal?
See those pink ones down there?
Oh, those are internal iliacs.
Yeah. I think this branch point might be right here. It's kind of looking to me like I'm branching right in that area. And then some of it's going in there and coming on down. I would think we'd have a better example of where it's branching. But the big one going out to the legs is the external iliac. The branch going medially is the internal iliac. The adrenolumbars are the iliolumbars are those. We don't have to do the adrenolumbar in the rabbits. That would be up here. I don't think the adrenolumbar is on the list. I didn't just miss it, did I? It's not on the picture up there. Okay. Adrenolumbars are this paired one coming off up here, right above the kidney. Not the single one that's a superior mesenteric, but there's a paired set right up here. Going to the adrenal gland that we found, like right there, and the upper part of the lumbar part of the back. The iliolumbar goes to the lower part of the back, lower back. And I was pointing out your inguinal canal where the blood vessels, veins, etc., blood vessels leave, and actually where your usually, actually looks like it might be slightly different location. For us, the spermatic cord actually enters the body through there too. If you know anybody that has had an inguinal hernia, their intestines are coming out through those holes.
So isn't it on this side where we found the spermatic cord?
Yeah, that's spermatic cord. It looks like it's actually maybe entering in a slightly different location in the rabbit than it does in the... Yeah. And then here at the very end is the testis. We can follow that spermatic cord, and then at some point you get the vas deferens separating off of the spermatic cord. It's within the spermatic cord here. Once it gets into along with the testicular arteries and veins, once that gets inside the body cavity, the vas deferens splits off. You can see it here. It always loops over the ureter. The bladder would be like that. That's your urinary bladder. Here's the vas deferens coming in over the ureter, which is right here. So if it's inside the body, that's the cue. If it climbs over the ureter that's going up to the kidney, you know it's the vas deferens. Okay? Anything else?
Yes. We cross the body here.
Yep, so that's your femoral.
And then where's the popliteal and the...
Okay, well the first one is the deep femoral, which is this first branch very close to the body, to the skin of the trunk of the body. Ignore that big, there's usually a big one coming off here, ignore that one. Then we get down here, that's the saphenous when we get out here. That looks like the popliteal coming off right there. Basically goes to the back of the kneecap. Let's see if it splits. Is it better split over here on yours? Actually, there it is. It's not just going deep and out, it's actually splitting off and going over. On the artery, there's also a vein that goes there, but in that case, it looks like your vein didn't stain very well. Popliteal is the back surface of the kneecap. So the branch that goes over there is the popliteal. The branch that goes down the leg is the saphenous.
It would be like down here.
Down there somewhere.
And then popliteal, and then femoral, and then deep femoral.
Yep.
And then these are the external iliacs. These are the internal iliacs.
Yep. Don't worry about that one. Don't worry about this down here. Worry about what's going out that way.
Let's see.
Where's it going?
Ilio something. Iliolumbar.
Yeah. Good.
Okay. And then inferior vena cava.
Yes. Yeah.
And then this is the superior hemorrhoidal.
Yep.
And then this is the...
Where it's coming in here.
inferior mesenteric.
Excellent.
Okay. Renal artery and vein.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yep.
Where is this going? So gastric.
Yep.
Splenic.
Yep.
Celiac? Or is that celiac?
That's celiac.
Celiac. Okay.
And somewhere it branches off to the.
And this-
That is actually the esophagus, the bottom end of the esophagus, I think. Because no big fat going up that way, coming out through the hiatus to the stomach.
Okay.
That's the bottom end of the esophagus.
And these are the adrenolumbars.
Yep.
Where's the superior mesenteric?
That's this one.
That's this one.
Yeah. Not terribly well stained.
Okay. Was that everything?
Except for the colic, which is the one on basically the extension over here on the inside of the colon. I think so.